So come on into constructive rest posture. As promised, today we're doing a series of digestion postures in preparation for the grand holidays in front of us. I'll move my chair out of the way here. Really invite you to nestle in here, to really let go. Do a scan beginning at the soles of the feet, bringing the attention up the legs to the knees, from the knees to the hip joints. Just noticing, is there any holding in any part of my body from the hips to the feet? Can I let go and soften just a little bit more? We notice how the pelvis rests on the floor. And we notice the right side of the torso as it reclines, and the left side. Noticing whether or not there is equal distribution of weight, right and left. Or does one side feel a little heavier than the other? A little more grounded or a little more present? Nothing to do about it, simply notice and observe. Bringing the attention down the arms, beginning at the top of the shoulders in those lovely deltoids, and then sliding down the bicep, the elbow, the forearm, the wrist and the hands. And just noticing, is there more softening that could happen here? Noticing the jaw, softening there, softening the space between the eyes. And then we feel the weight of the head as it rests on the mat. And we follow our breath. Pressing the low back into the mat. Then release. Let the curve restore itself in the low back. Again, pressing into the low back. Curve comes back. This is the inhale. The exhale, we press into the low back. The exhale, we lift the waist. Do a few of these, letting the head follow the movement. So in one direction, the chin tips back. And in the other direction, the chin travels toward the heart. A nice little softening here in the low back as we prepare our next posture, which is called Apanasana, or knees to the heart motion posture. We begin on the inhale, and on the exhale, we press into the low back, and we're going to draw both knees into the heart. The knees can be together or maybe a little wider than the torso, feet touching. We'll be here for 10 breaths. This is called wind relieving posture. Keep the jaw soft, keep the breath moving. Couple more breaths. And then slowly, slowly, slowly release the feet to the floor, maybe one foot at a time, or maybe both feet. Draw the belly up and in, press into the low back to release the feet. We're back in constructive rest posture. We're going to do that practice again. We're going to be holding it for 10 breaths. This time we're going to notice whether or not I'm trying to hold myself up with my shoulders or my neck. Even though I'm reclining, I'm going to notice where I have, what I have drawn in to support this posture that may not be necessary. So on the in breath, there's a little lift in the waist, and on the exhale, the knees draw in as we press the low back into the floor. We're going to do 10 breaths here. Let the jaw be soft. And we notice, is there anything else that I'm using that doesn't need to be activated in this posture? We'll do 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to release the feet to the floor, draw the belly up and in, press into the low back, but keep the breath moving as we release the feet to the floor. Keeping the knees together, keeping the feet together. We just rock a little bit right and left. And now we're going to take our arms out to T. They rest on the floor. Let's have our palms up here. We're going to take ourselves into a twist, and we're going to keep the feet together. We're going to keep the knees together. We're going to go to the right side first. So we gently tip to the right side, stack the insteps of the feet. We're coming into a twist. This helps to fire up the digestive juices in the stomach. And maybe the head wants to turn and look to the right. Maybe the head wants to turn and look to the left. Decide what the neck wants to do most. Maybe just look at the ceiling. We're going to be here for 10 breaths. Two more breaths. To come out of this, bring the head back to center if it's not already there. Keep the knees together, keep the feet together. Roll back to center. Maybe shift the pelvis just a little bit to the right side. We're going to keep the feet on the floor. We're going to draw the feet toward each other so that the insteps are touching, the knees touch. We take the twist. And as we're in this posture, maybe notice, do I want to turn the head to the right? Do I like it in the center? Do I like it to the left? Just allowing yourself to rest here 10 breath cycles. Last one. And then we come back to center. Rock the pelvis again. Feet, knees together, just rocking gently right and left. Now we're going to put those two postures together. The knees are coming to the chest, and then we're going to twist. This is the key, though. We're only going to go 45 degrees to the right, come back to center, 45 degrees to the left. So we begin by pressing into the low back, draw the knees into the chest, into the heart, keep the knees together, keep the feet together, float the arms out to T, and then we're going to take the knees 45 degrees to the right. This is called the belly turning posture. Come back to center. The out breath takes us to the left, back to center. Now take the head in the same direction as the knees. Come back to center, head follows the knees. Back to center. This time we're going to take the head to the left, press into the back of the right hand, knees come to the right. Breathe into center. Knees travel to the left, press into the back of the left hand, look to the right. Back to center. We're going to go again to the right side, press into the back of the right hand, look to the left. Back to center. Back of the left hand, knees to the left, head to the right. Back to center. And then we're going to draw those knees into the heart. Rock gently right and left. And then bring those feet to the mat. Settle here. We're going to take ourselves into a happy baby cycle now, and we're going to do it one leg at a time. So we're going to press into the low back, and we're going to draw that right leg in, and then we take it wide. So we take it out to the edge of our torso. Perhaps we can reach the inner edge of the foot and gently press that knee toward the floor. If that's too much of a stretch, hold behind the knee. Got a nice flexed foot here. And we're going to pause and breathe 10 breath cycles. This helps with the digestion also, and also with bloating. Couple more breaths here. Let the jaw relax. And then we're going to release that foot and bring it back to the floor. We're going to prepare for the left side now. We're going to do 10 breath cycles. So we draw the knee in, holding either behind the knee, but the leg is as wide as the torso. We're going to bring our left hand to the inside of the foot, only if that's comfortable and doesn't cause undue strain. And then we're going to gently press the whole leg to the floor, whether we're using our hand on our foot or the hand behind the knee. The other arm can be extended for balance. We'll settle in here. Let's say we have about 5 more breaths to go. Two more. And then we're going to come back to center, release that foot to the floor. We're going to do that cycle again, individual legs. Take a few moments to settle, maybe wag the tail a little bit, keep it on the floor, or if you want, you could lift up and wag. Actually, it might feel good to rock right and left. So let's do that. Keep the feet on the floor. And now we're coming back to half of a happy baby. We're going to bring that foot up, pressing it toward the floor. The other leg stays bent. 10 breaths here. Jaw soft. Eyebrows soft. Two more breaths. And then we come back to the mat, switching legs. Right foot stands on the mat, knees bent. 10 breath cycles here. Two more breath cycles. And then releasing that foot to the floor. Pause for a moment, rocking gently right and left. Let the head follow the knees. And now, one leg at a time, we're going to draw both legs up into happy baby. So hold behind the knees or on the soles of the feet. If we're holding the soles of the feet, we need to have those feet away from each other. So if holding the soles of the feet make the heels come together, hold behind the knee. We're going to be here for 10 breaths. Two more breaths. And now release the hands and draw the knees in. Or if your hands are behind the knees, just draw the knees in. Rock a little right and left, let the head follow. And then we bring our feet to the mat. So as we go through these, certain postures may be more enjoyable than others. Just remember, you can mix and match or do whatever you want, whatever feels best for you. We're going to come now onto our side And we're going to go to the left side first. So we're going to roll on to the left side. I'm pretending like this is my left side. We're rolling on to the left side. Find a way to make it comfortable. This is side lying child. This is a digestion pose. So this posture is for indigestion. If lying on your left side doesn't feel good, then don't do this. But this really helps with the digestion. We're going to push ourselves up to seated. And we're going to come to staff pose. So we have our feet flexed. Our spine is nice and long. If we notice a little slumping, we can always roll up the back of the mat. We're going to take the hands behind us now. And I have my fingers turned away from my torso. Lift the heart here. So this opens the expanse of the belly. Yep, and the head tilts back slightly. So the throat is open here. The heart, the shoulder blades draw together here. The heart is lifted. The belly is extended. Another way to do this is kneeling in Vajrasana. Oops, say that 3 times fast. Which is done on the shins on the floor, sitting back on the heels. It's a really great digestion pose. It's not available to my body. My knees do not like it. So I choose to find other ways to do it. We're going to come back to Vadakanasana now. So we're going to bring the soles of our feet together. Let's do a little forward hinge. So we did a back bend. We're going to bring ourselves forward now. Just hip hinging, nice flat back. Feel that nice stretch in the low back. Now we're going to float those arms back again and lift the heart. So we did this in staff pose. Now we're doing it in Vadakanasana, bound angle pose. The heart is lifted. We're doing about 10 breaths here. Shoulder blades draw together. One more big breath. Then we're going to come back to seated, extend our legs into staff pose again. Flexed feet. And now we do a forward fold. So we're sweeping the arms forward or bringing the hands somewhere onto our legs. We're working to keep a nice flat back. So this posture says hello to the digestion. This is a posture you do before the meal. We're doing about 10 breaths here. And slowly coming back up. Sweep the arms back again in staff pose, lift the heart. Ten breaths here. One more breath. Slowly walking forward, we're coming to Vadakanasana again. So the soles of the feet come together. We're going to reach behind again. Lift the heart. Let the head relax back. No strain. 10 breaths here. I get used to saying 3 breaths, but really we're deepening everything today. Two more breaths here. Walking the hands forward, we're coming into a little bit of a forward fold here at the hip joints in Vadakanasana. Nice stretch in the low back. 10 breaths here. Two more breaths. Slowly come up and then slide the legs out long. We're coming into our seated forward fold, flexed feet. Slide the hands down the legs, pausing when it gets tight and just allowing the belly to come toward the top of the thighs. We got 10 breaths here. Another couple breaths. And then we come back up, bounce the legs a little bit. We're going to come onto our bellies now. I'm going to start in Sphinx. So we bring the elbows right underneath the shoulders. This is a back bend, but we'll also notice there's activation in the musculature in the front of the body, right into the belly. Tops of the feet are resting on the floor. Lift the heart a little more to engage the abdominals. Draw the belly up and in and breathe. And then we release to the floor. We're going to bring our forehead to rest on our mat. Slide the hands down next to the pelvis. Palms down. Tops of the feet are down. We're going to press into the top of the feet, press into the pelvis, lift the heart. So this is baby cobra. I'm going to do 10 breaths here. One more breath. We're going to slide the hands up, make a hand pillow, rock the feet right and left. And now we're coming to low cobra. We're on our way to full cobra, which is a super digestion posture. But we're going to get there by going to low cobra first. So now the hands slide under the shoulders. The feet come together, tops of the feet pressing into the floor. Press into the pubic bone, press into the hands, lift the heart. So in low cobra, we can keep the hands on the floor. Our shoulder blades draw together. We should be able to take our hands off the floor and hold this posture. If we can't do that, then we're lifting too high. So find your sweet spot. Then the hands can go back on the floor for 10 breath cycles. One more breath. Return to the floor, stack the hands, create a hand pillow for either your chin or your forehead. Rock gently right and left. And now we're coming to digestion gold. So again, the tops of the feet are resting on the floor. The hands slide under the shoulders, so the elbows are bent back by the rib cage. We're going to press ourselves up, press into the feet, press into the pubic bone, then draw your nose on the mat, bringing it up and pressing into the hands, pressing into the feet. We come into Cobra. If this is too hard on any of the vertebrae, then just go back to low Cobra or baby Cobra. We're going to breathe 10 breaths here. Two more breaths. And then we slowly lower to the mat. We're going to do that one more time, but before we get there, take a little bit of a rest. So with Cobra, the whole front body from the pubis up to the collarbones is engaged. That includes all the digestive organs are getting nourished with a stretch, with blood flow, with energy, everything we need to be able to digest our delicious Thanksgiving feast. Hands slide down underneath the shoulders. The forehead rests on the floor. The feet are together, tops of the feet down. We build this from the pressing into the feet, pressing into the pubic bone, sliding the nose on the mat until the head lifts. And then we gently begin to rise, pressing hands into the mat. 10 breaths here. And then from this posture, we're going to press back into child's pose. So we've got the arms, keep the arms in front. We're going to bring the forehead to the mat. The hips float toward the heels any amount. We're going to breathe here. Child's poses. This is incredibly stressful. I need to escape pose. So if family or the experience of Thanksgiving is too much, child's pose becomes an introverted pose that can relax us. Come on up onto hands and knees. We're going to come into down dog. So we've been practicing down dog the last couple of weeks. We begin by making sure our fingers are spread wide. We want to have our elbow creases facing forward. So maybe the hand turns a 1/4 inch, the right hand to the right, the left hand to the left to make that easier. That's going to give our shoulders a break. We're going to turn our toes under. And then we press ourselves up, knees bent to begin with. We're coming into an upside down V. Keep the knees bent. And then slowly begin to straighten them as the heels travel toward the floor. Let the head rest between the upper arms. Shake the head yes and no. And now we're going to take our hands and our feet toward each other. We're in the bottom of a forward fold, helpful digestive posture. We're going to sweep the arms open as we rise to standing. Hands come to heart center. Pause here while we gain our equilibrium. So moving from the floor to vertical, we want to give our blood flow time to reverse itself. Sometimes it helps to pump the toes up and down, especially if you get lightheaded. And then we're going to take our feet wide, maybe as wide as the mat, maybe a little wider. We're coming into Malasana, which is a deep squat, another digestive pose. So we're going to turn the feet out a little bit. We're going to bend the knees. And we're going to come down and rest. Some people, the pelvis is going to sink toward the floor very elegantly. For some of us, it's just finding this squat. We're going to take 10 breaths here. Two more breaths. Now release the hands to the floor. Take the feet parallel. Straighten the legs slowly as we rise up, sweep the arms. And we come to star. Feel the grounded connection here. Hands are alive. We're going to do 10 breaths here. Two more breaths. Hands come to heart center. Turn the feet out one more time. Take the squat, Malasana. And we'll be here for 10 breaths. If you'd like a little more, you can bring the elbows to press into the thighs, to press the thighs a little bit toward the back wall. Keep the heart a little lifted here. If we hinge forward, we can make it a lot easier with less work. Let's work a little more by keeping the heart up. And then the hands come to the floor again. Feet come parallel. Sweep up to star. Reach through the hands. Try turning the thumbs to the sky. 10 breaths here. Release the hands. Walk the feet together. Come to the top of the mat. Sweep the arms up. Fold to the floor. Bending the knees is needed to touch the floor. Half lift to the shins, flat back, breath in. Release to the mat. Release the hands to the mat. Step back, come into down dog. Check the hands, make sure the fingers are wide. We're pressing through the heels toward the floor. A few more breaths here. One more breath. And then we release to the floor, finding our way back into constructive rest. So come on back, onto the back as we come into constructive rest. We began our practice with the body scan. Let's come back to that. Feeling the feet, ankles, the lower leg up to the knee. The knee to the hip joint. Feel the pelvis. The right and the left side of the torso. The shoulders, the upper arm, the elbow, the forearm, the wrist, the hands. The jaw, the space between the eyebrows, and how the back of the head rests on the mat now. We return to the awareness of breath. Feeling the inhale and the exhale. And we settle into Shavasana. So find your resting posture today. What feels best for your body. And let go. Just let go. Today's quote is from Rumi. Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky. I'm going to add to that today from Meister Eckhart. If the only prayer we ever say is thank you, that is enough. We open our arms wide. We gather all the blessings that already exist and we draw them in appreciation and gratitude into our sweet, tender hearts. And together we all say, Namaste.